Good morning to one and all. Today we are going to see about the topic classes and object. Here we are going to see about how we are going to creating object and how we are going to access the class members. First, our C++ programming is consists of the OOPS concept. In OOPS concept, it is fully of 100% classes and object. Once we are creating the classes, automatically objects have to be created, and using classes and object, we are going to run the C++ programming. So first, we can see defining class. How we are going to define the class? What is a class? Class is an user-defined data type that has data members and the member functions. So class is a keyword and it is just an user-defined data type, and class name is an it is user-defined function name. As our user wish, you can define the class name. Here in normal programming, we are declaring the variables, that is what are all programmers need to implement the program variables. All the variables are initialized and declared and initialized in the declaration part. Here in classes, what are variables and functions we are needed, we are using it as data members. In data variables, what are variables we are declaring, initiating in data, we are declaring here in data variables, and to access these data variables, what are all functions we are going to use, it is defined in the member functions. Then simple, for example, this is the class car. Class is a keyword and car is our user defined name. The data member will be speed limit, mileage, etc. So suppose if a car, we are using these data members as a speed limit, what is the model of one car, what is the mileage, like this, etc. And for this, member functions will be applying brakes, increasing speed, etc. like this. This is the class definition. Class definition begins with the keyword class. Then the body of the class consists of the braces and it is ended by the semicolon. Class name. Class is a keyword and class name is an user defined name. Then it is of braces. First is an access specifier. What is an access specifier? We are going to use the class as using this access specifier, private, public or protected. Then data members, what are our variables we are going to use, it is declared in the data members. Member functions, method to access the data members. So every class ends with the braces and a semicolon. Examples of classes and object. Simple example, that is, suppose if I am having the class name as a student, many number of objects can be created. From student 1 to n number of students can be created. What are all going to be the properties? It's going to be roll number, date of birth, weight, name, address, email ID, mark, average, total. So what are all the details of the students can be defined as the data members and using functions. Functions will be as a total or average. It can be. Then another example, class name, it will be class vehicle. What all will be the data members? It may be a model, color and registration. Next is a member function. So vehicle, what are you going to do? It can be a forward or backward or stop. Next, this is like a structure of the class. Suppose here class box. Box is the class name. What we are keeping as the class name, same should be created by the object. So class name is a box, and box B1, box B2, box B3 be the creating objects. How we are going to create object? Why to create the object? Why are you creating the object? So in class we are defining the data members and the variables functions. So space is not allocated, that is memory storage is not allocated. As soon as we declare the object, here memory storage is allocated. For that we are declaring the object. So when a class is defined, only the specification for the object is defined. No memory or storage is allocated. To use the data and access function defined in the class, you need to create the object. So how we are going to access the data members? Member function in class. These functions can be accessed by the two ways. Once you can define inside the class or you can define outside the class. These are the access specifiers. Why to use the access specifier? To protect our class. So these are all access specifiers. There are three levels, three types of access specifiers are there: private, public, and protected. In private, this could not be accessed from the outside the class, so it is accessed in the inside the class. It is similar to the data hiding, information hiding method of encapsulation. So by this process we are protecting the data. It should be declared only inside the class and it is protected from the outside the class. It cannot be called. So by using this we can hide the data, we can hide the information by using the method of encapsulation. Public access specifier. Public access specifier. This can be defined inside or outside the classes. Any data member or function of the class can be declared and it can be accessed anywhere. So public means if we are using public, it is in the class, we can access these classes anywhere, that is inside the class, outside the class, anywhere you can class. But here data is not protected, data hiding cannot be done. Protected access specifier. Protected access specifier and function overriding are used in case of inheritance when the user has to access a data of different classes in inheritance hierarchy. This is used in the inheritance concept, that is number of classes can be created by using the protected access specifier by using the inheritance concept and the function overriding concept. Syntax of creating an object in C++. Class name. It is the name, class name. It is the name of the class whose object we are creating. Class name, object name. So what is the class name we are going to create? With the same name we have to create that is we have to declare the object name. The object name, it is the name of the object we are creating. Object name can be, it is as wish, we can create as such as one. The rules is simple a variable. So here vehicle v1. So class vehicle, then we are creating the object as an vehicle v1. v1 is an object name. Next, this is also C++ object. About the object, when a class is defined, only the specification for the object is defined. That is, when we are defining the class, so only the variables, what are variables, it is like a declaration part. We are implementing our program only by using declaring the object and calling the object. So while defining in the class, no memory or storage is allocated and the data and functions cannot be accessed. So we need to create an object. These are the syntax to define the object. Class name, object variable name, void sample function. This is the sample functions, and with the class name we are creating the objects here as in room 1, room 2, and in integer room 3. So number of objects can be created for the same classes. How we are going to access means we are going to access the data members and functions by like this only. Room 2 is an object name and calculate area is member function we are using. So we have to call the function by using the object. So here object name is room 2. So we are calling the member function calculate area by using the object, and same as an for an variable. We are initializing the variable by using only the object. So here object name is room1 dot length. We are initializing the variable, initializing the values to the variable length 5.5. This is an example program. This is a simple example program. Just this program is to calculate the area for rectangle and calculate the volume for it. So here class name, some data functions we are going to use. As it is example, class room. Room is an class name. We are using the access specifier as an public. So public, these variables can be called anywhere. Double length, double breadth. So we are declaring the length and breadth by using the length, breadth and height by using the data type double. Here we are calling the functions calculate area as a member function, returning length into breadth. This is the formula to calculate the areas. Then formula to calculate the volume is an length into breadth into height. Okay, so After that, here we are going to create the object and completing the program. As it is first part is done, now we are starting from the main function. Integer main, creating object as an room. So here class name is an room, so we are creating the object as an room 1. So class room, it is an room 1. So now we are assigning the values to the data members by using the created object. So room1 dot length, breadth, height. So for length, breadth, height we are assigning the values. Then we are calculating. So here calculate and display the areas. How we are going to volume created? See out area of the room1 dot calculate area. When we give this room1 dot calculate area, the function goes to the member function. Their formula is implemented as an length into breadth. So with the given values length into breadth, it is calculate the area of the room. After that, second volume room1 dot calculate volume. So using that functions, height variables, room of the volume is calculated. So we are printing the output as area of the room and volume of